stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's second down. The CD, this offense at 11-0 now on the year. A few weeks ago, I remember asking you what kind of percentage chance that you thought they had at staying unbeaten the entire season. I think you said 25%. I'd imagine that number probably grown since then.
I would agree with you, and I'm going to actually bump it up to closer to 50%. Only because they still have some tough games to come, and keeping that focus throughout the entire season.
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Play action. It's Goff. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. On the end around, here comes Williams. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, it certainly appears that in this game, someone has decided they're going to open up their playbook. First quarter, and we see that play. I like their style.
3rd and 3. Gibbs will try and pick it up. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Lions get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, they were looking to pick up the first down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roam, and he found it.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Carr going to lead the Saints up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They begin on the ground with Kamara. That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up. You talk about this Lions defense. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
I would have loved to have been in their meetings this week and hear that grizzled old defensive coordinator talk about, well, you did okay, guys. We did all right. Holding them to 13 was pretty good. But this week, I expected to be less than that.
I'm going to need to hear that a lot more often. I don't know what it was, but I liked it. Carr to throw on second down. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. It's the linebacker, Alex Anzalone. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. After the interception, here's Goff. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. A shotgun snap for Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Goff now to throw. There's Laporta. He's got it. Touchdown, Lions. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. Now, this defense for the Lions, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
Yeah, they only allowed 13 points, and you can poll all 32 coaches, and I guarantee you they'd say, we'll take that every single week. But let me think about that for a second. Maybe there'd be one contrarian that would say, give me 10.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And able to work his way down to the 16. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. Counterplay, here's Gibbs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's third and 9. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. He'll buy some time right. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Donovan Peoples-Jones, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder into ball carrier, and down he goes.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. You talk about this Lions defense. It's quite a unit. Number 1 in the NFL against the pass.
And I think with as good as their coverage is, and they're also excellent tacklers, they try to keep things in front of them and either make the tackle or you have to run out of bounds because there's nowhere to go. They'll let them dink and dunk all day long.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
$21-0 our score after 1. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession as they've got it with a third down coming up. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's got room. Down the right sideline. Inside the 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara, 64 yards. And the Saints are able to cut into that deficit.
Bottom line, when you play a runner with these talents, you've got to be able to wrap up and get him on the ground. Or the first person who gets there, hold him up long enough for the next wave to get there and get him down. Otherwise, he will continue downfield and find pay dirt.
Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Piñeiro to kick it off. Here's Raymond bringing it out. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old, this is the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. They are guarding against the upset.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
They'll roll him out right. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. Now he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
That's going to be caught. And in for the Lions touchdown. Jared Goff with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Lions are able to widen their advantage. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Fair catch going to be taken, and this will be moved out to the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 91 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think the defense surprised him there with that blitz on 1st down, but give him credit. Stayed cool under pressure and still found a way through the extra rushers for positive yardage. Well done.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
On play action, it's Carr. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Throwing his car on third down. And that is incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. One incompletion, two incompletion. They're going for more.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Another run for Gibbs here. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Goff on 3rd down. And he's taken down here by the Saints. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed. Taken at about the 36. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
Meanwhile, Carr's throw complete there to Perry. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
On 1st down, Carr. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. No gain on the screen there at 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Here's Carr. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
The kick by Pinheiro is good. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
Here's Raymond bringing it out. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
First and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
The Saints take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
On second down, Kamara. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 110 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
They run it again with Kamara. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
From the 42-yard line, here's the 2nd and 8. Carr going to throw. There's Chris Olave. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and now 2 yards to go on third down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose, and boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Kamara up the middle, and he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. From midfield, here's Carr. He completes it to Olave. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Give him 18 there, and the Saints have a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
And right side, they're going to go option here. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. That's Aiden Hutchinson. He was determined to blow that play up, and he sure did. After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Carr. To the right side. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble.
Partner, I really don't have words for that one. It's not often you see a completed pass lose that kind of yardage.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They had the big halftime lead. Their defense just helped them out further by forcing the turnover, so things are starting to look pretty rosy.
They certainly are, but they've got to be careful about getting complacent, though. They still need to go out and run their offense efficiently.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. Hand off to Gibbs, headed right here. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now inside the 25. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Throwing on first down is Carr. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
They'll take over first and 10 at the 48-yard line.
So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now Montgomery running right. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It was Cameron Jordan who came in and got him.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 1 yard is the loss. They back up even further to a 3rd and 15.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Now, meanwhile, the final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter of play. 3 quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Here comes the Lions punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This will be fielded at the 17. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. Well, offensively, Charles, hard to put a silver lining on this one. No secret that they had to take chances with a score where it is, and it leads to a turnover.
I love how you paint the picture, partner, because you're exactly right about that one. Look at the empty stares on that sideline. This is one of those games where you just want to go crawl under a rock until it's over.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
Badgley's kick is good. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
A 4 receiver set here on 3rd down. They're going to spread the field and make you play sideline to sideline, make you defend every blade of grass. Good spacing there offensively as they get the completion and the 1st down.
Again, it's Carr. He lets it go deep for Olave. And boy, another ill-advised throw there as that will wind up incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half.
No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
The Saints on third down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Now Carr. That is caught. Shoves him aside. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Ball on the 39. Here's a 2nd and 7. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
In search of 8 yards on third down. They've already converted 2 of these on this drive, 2 for 2. Here's Carr to throw. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now Carr, gotta have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And this 10-play drive winds up yielding nothing. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Lions, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to the Windy City to take on the Bears. Meanwhile, for the Saints, it's another week with more questions than answers as they fall to 3-9. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.
So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.